Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to your Saturday edition of Wasatch Weekends. We love getting to be here to maybe inspire you to try some new grilling out on the grill, pick up a new book, take care of some things that could be happening with the pharmacy and making sure that you are well squared off, and as well as inspire you to bring home the most adorable puppy I think, quite frankly, I have ever seen. And I cannot wait to introduce you to Debbie from Nuzzles & Co. We've got a great show in store for you, and we really appreciate when you tune in every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That way we can bring you all of this wonderful community information. We're going to take a short break and look at that weather forecast right now. Are you ready to see the most adorable puppy that you might need to bring home? Well, Josh from Nuzzles & Co. has brought a very special guest, Debbie, and I'm so lucky that I had the opportunity to catch up with them and talk about their wonderful gala. Let's hear what he has to say. Are you ready for cuteness overload? Because I sure wasn't first thing this morning. Well, we've got Josh and Debbie from Nuzzles joining us. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. How are you today?
I can't even. This puppy is so cute.
Hi, Debbie. Are you feeling a little bit nervous right now on the camera?
Hi, Debbie. Look at that cute face. Hi, baby girl. Hi.
So you probably can see it, but she has one blue eye and one green eye, which is pretty unique. I've never seen that in a dog before.
Hi, Debbie.
She's 8 weeks old. Comes from a mixed breed litter, so we've got some other dogs that are black and some are white and some are mixed colors. So there's like a cornucopia from this litter. We rescued 2 moms and 12 puppies that came from the Navajo Nation. They were at a construction site, and the construction workers were feeding them, and then decided this is probably a pretty dangerous spot for puppies to be running around. So they actually took them to Shiprock, New Mexico, and one of our partner rescues reached out to us, and we picked them up.
I mean, that is literally the cutest dog I think I've ever seen, and I am so biased because I have adorable dogs, but her eye combination is just baffling.
Hi, kiddo. What do you think?
Oh,
Are you just so unique and so pretty?
Hi, sweet
Are you so
girl.
pretty?
I like that when I talk to her, she tilts her head like she's listening to me.
Right. Yeah, this week we did a big 4th of July party at the Talisker Club in Toohey, and she was just like adored by kids and adults alike. She was like one of the big hits of the party.
I would imagine everyone just wants to pick her up and stare into those beautiful eyes.
Okay, come here.
So 8 weeks old, how long do you keep her before she's available for adoption?
She's available right now, actually. So they've been in foster homes for a couple weeks, and they just got spayed and neutered. So she is ready to move on to her forever home.
And she looks quite little. How big do you anticipate she will become?
So the 2 moms, one of them is like 33 pounds. One of them's a little closer to 40 pounds. So I'm guessing these dogs are going to be right around that 40-pound range.
I think that it's amazing that you have the perfect medium-sized dog that could be someone's forever companion.
I think it is the perfect medium-sized dog. 40 pounds is great for adventures. They're not going to crush you sitting on the couch and cuddling. And as you can see, she's a little love bug, so she does a little bit of both, the playing, running around, adventuring, and then she's ready for the cuddle time too.
Debbie, look at the camera. Look at this sweet baby face that you have. Let's see if I can get you to head tilt. Hi, Debbie. Hi. Look at that face. Oh my goodness, that blue eye is sure beautiful. Oh, there's the green one. Oh my gosh.
And she's just this beautiful shade of brown. Like she looks like a little bit of a brown lab, but Like her siblings don't look like lavish at all. So it really is quite the guess as to what the makeup is. I always say a Navajo dog is a one of a kind, unique dog that probably has 12 to 15 different breeds in it. And they make amazing companions.
They make the best companions because I feel like they know that they're being rescued, and so they're so grateful for the connection that they get to make with their forever human. Now, if people are interested in bringing Debbie, one of her siblings, or one of the moms, which are really important to adopt, home, what's the process like?
Go to our website, nuzzlesandco.org, click on the name of the animal, and you get a link to an adoption application. The other option is to just straight up come to the ranch or the adoption center, wherever they are. They're currently at the ranch. Come meet them in person, and then we can start the whole process right then and there.
Hi, Debbie. Look at that face. Look at her just like beautiful eyes. Hi, Debbie. Hi, sweet baby
You want to
girl.
step on the computer? Is
Oh
that what you
my
want to do?
goodness. Hi, sweetie. She's like, where's that sound coming from? I'm
I
overwhelmed.
think I'm gonna put her down and let her run around for a minute.
I don't blame you. Now, this is a great segue for us to talk about your upcoming gala and why this is so important that people come and support you.
Gala is our biggest fundraiser of the year. Last year, we netted over $300,000 when it was all said and done. So that's a lot of lives that we get to save with that money. Um, it's a big night. It reminds people of our mission. We get to talk about all the great things we do. We always bring a litter of puppies for people to cuddle with, again, to remind them exactly what they're there to support. The board has been working their tails off to procure lots of really amazing items for the silent auction and the live auction. So it'll be July 27th at the Pendry. It begins at 5:30 with cocktails and the silent auction on the plaza. And then we'll move downstairs to the ballroom for the dinner, followed by the live auction and end of night dancing.
And you guys always have a great theme. So, what's the theme this year?
You're catching me on the spot here. I don't know the answer to that. I think it's summer something or other. I look terrible right now.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just love all of your events so much because you do such a good job of bringing them to life and then taking that money and saving dogs, and that's really what it's all about. So who even cares about the theme? Dress nice, show up, enjoy some cocktails, have some fun, dance, make some bids on some great silent auction items.
Right. Yeah. Beth, who's one of our board members, does all the design work for things, her and her team. And she did a great job on the invitations and all the artwork for it. And when it pops in my head, I'll remind you what the theme is. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Summer dressy attire, so not super formal, and lots of cuddles.
Lots of puppy cuddles. This is a great way to support what you do and save the lives, but also get in that extra puppy cuddle time.
Absolutely. Puppy cuddle time, meet other like-minded people who are there to support and just really kind of see what the community is all about, who love supporting rescue.
Which I think is so wonderful, and not many people know how hard you have to work to save dogs, and so it's important that people take the time, whether they can come to the gala or not. It's amazing that they could just donate cleaning supplies, old beds, old blankets. There's so many wonderful options for them to support you guys as a nonprofit.
It's a perfect segue to all the different ways you can support, which is if you can't adopt, you can foster animals, so that's a temporary thing. Bringing an animal into your home, getting them used to what it's like to live in a home, giving them all that love is so important. And then volunteering, there's things you can do at the ranch, things at the adoption center, walking dogs, hanging out with the cats. Hi, cutie. What's going on? And donations, everything from money, property, stock, anything valuable, dog-related stuff, toys. If we use it, you can probably donate it.
Josh, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all this great information, and thank you for showing us Debbie. I cannot believe how adorable she is.
Oh, are you ready to go to somebody's home? Are you ready to be somebody's dog?
Debbie, do you want a forever home? I think we should find you a forever home. Let's put that face back up on camera one more time. Oh, Debbie, look at you, sweet lady. Josh, again, thank you so much for taking the time, and thank you for all the hard work that you do saving the dogs.
Thanks for having us. It's always a good time.
Make sure that you check out Nuzzles & Co. That way you can see all of the wonderful dogs that they have available for adoption and cats, and sometimes they've got the occasional farm animal. Also, make sure you buy tickets to their gala. That way you can help them save lives, because it's a great nonprofit here in our wonderful community. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned. Now that the weather is nice, sunny, and beautiful, it's time to step outside and do some grilling. Well, we're going to do just that with Tracy Miller from Colorful Cooking, as she always does such a wonderful job making delicious and healthy recipes. So let's see the beginning steps to some grilling.
Drying off my veggies because I did wash them, and I'm going to make a really nice salad today. And if you have a lot of moisture in your salad, then it's going to make the salad dressing and the lettuce kind of get a little bit too wet. So you don't want that. You don't want that last piece of salad bite just to be water. That would be gross, right? So today we are making chicken drumsticks, and we're going out on the grill to do that. And we're going to buffalo style them and then make a salad that is going to be a buffalo style salad as well. So it's like buffalo chicken, but a little bit healthier. And it's something that you can cook outside and have a cool green salad with. So what we have for ingredients today: great green salad, romaine, carrots, celery, green onions, and cucumbers. We've got the chicken legs that we're going to be using today. We have some Frank's hot sauce, and then some blue cheese, because we're going to be making a blue cheese dressing to go with our buffalo chicken salad. So first things first, we need to head out to the grill. Grilling is one of my favorite ways to cook. Actually, I love cooking meat, veggies, fruit, everything on the grill. First of all, because you get to be outside, but also it's a pretty healthy way to cook, because typically you are not using a lot of oil or a lot of sauces or anything like that. So let's head out to the grill with your chicken thighs, and I'll show you exactly how to prep them and exactly how to cook those. They take about 35 minutes to reach an internal temperature of 185, and they are bone-in chicken legs. So there's a little trick to cooking with bone-in. We'll see you at the grill. The grill is cranking. I've got it preheating at top speed, or the highest it can go. I like to have my grill really, really hot, especially when I put some meat on it. Okay, so today here we have our chicken legs. Oh, almost lost that one. We have our chicken legs. They're nice and juicy right now. So what we want to do is kind of dry them off a little bit. The drier that you get them, the better that skin is going to crisp up. So just kind of dry them up and make sure the skin is kind of like in order and flat across everything. Okay. A lot of times when you dry your meat, like if you're cooking a piece of fish or something and you want to get a little crust on it, it's nice to leave it out in the air or in the fridge without any saran wrap on it, because that saran wrap is going to hold the moisture. But if you want a crispy edge, you really need it to be nice and dry. So here we go. Get that skin over there. A lot of people like to use different kind of marinades and things like that. I take it pretty simple. So all we're gonna do right now is cover every piece of chicken with a ton of salt and pepper. And this is a step that I want you to be careful in. With every time that you're doing meat, make sure you're covering that piece of chicken really nicely, because every bite counts. So why not make sure every bite has some nice seasoning? Like I said, my grill is cranking at 400. I am going to put the chicken right on the grill. A lot of folks like to oil their grill up. I just like to have a really hot grill. If you did want to put a little oil on your grill, then you should probably put a vegetable oil, something that can withstand a high heat. And be real careful, because you want to have that oil on your grill when it's hot. So one of my friends was just telling me a little trick that they do when they're oiling their hot grill, is they put a little bit of olive oil in a bowl, and then they cut an onion in half and stick a big fork in half the onion, put that onion in the olive oil, and then rub it all over their grill. I find like it's an unnecessary step, especially when you have something fatty like this chicken with the chicken skin on it, because what's going to happen is that fat is going to kind of lube up the grill a little, and you don't want to be flipping things on your grill when they're not ready. So you want it to be hot enough that it's going to flip nicely. This is going to take a little bit of time. We're going to keep the grill at a very high heat, and we're going to shut it down, and then just about every 5 minutes or so, you're gonna flip your chicken over. That's gonna make it cook evenly. What happens when you're cooking with meat with the bone in? It's gonna take a little bit longer to cook versus just a chicken breast or a boneless chicken thigh or something like that. And you're gonna have to start rotating it so that it gets cooked evenly around. So when you're cooking something with the bone in, always make sure you have a lot of space in between your items so that the heat goes up and around everything. Keep it at a nice high heat. We want it like right around 400 degrees or so. A lot of these grill temperatures don't work, so just know you want it hot. And you're gonna stand here for 30, 35 minutes. That's about as long as it's gonna take to cook these to perfection, which is 185. Then that's gonna take us a little bit of time. You'll be able to tell if it's too hot, maybe some of the fat's starting to burn, or you see little fires starting on your chicken, then turn it down a little bit. But basically, keep it cranked pretty much to the top, unless you have one of those super fancy grills. Then think about 400, because if you have a super fancy grill, then that thing works. So keep it at about 400. Every 5 minutes or so, we're gonna flip it. So what we're gonna do now is just kind of chill right here and show you as we start to flip things. But for what you should do, cover it up, keep it closed, don't keep it open, keep it closed, keep your lid closed, and then every 5 minutes you start to turn that. So we'll be back in about 5-10 minutes and show you the next step, and then we'll kind of keep going every 10 minutes so you can see what ours looks like, but you can do it on your own time too. Okay, so this is gonna be our first flip, and actually I over-exaggerated the 5 minutes at first because I went and washed some dishes. So this is about 7 minutes or so. See how nice it comes off the grill? That's what you want. So that's starting to burn a little right there, so maybe I should have been back in 5 minutes, but that also means this is the hot spot. So we're gonna kind of rotate these things around so that they're all getting nice and warm. All right, about 5 minutes, that was about 7 minutes or so. Come back in 5, flip it over again. And what we're gonna do is flip it for 4 more times, so we'll be very close to the end next time I see you. We'll be right back. Okay, here we are. Been standing by the grill for about 35 minutes or so. Your chicken drumsticks should be cooked. You should have flipped them maybe 5 or 6 times. Again, don't get overzealous with the flipping. It's like some people are over stirrers when they're cooking veggies on the stovetop, and that ruins it. You want to get that sear. You want to let things sit for a little while and then flip them. We're flipping them so often because they have a bone in them, and they're going to take a little bit longer to cook for that reason. I have checked them already. They're at 185. Everything's getting nice and crispy, just like what we wanted with that skin. And I think it's time just to pull them off. So I'm just gonna pull all the chicken off. We're gonna make these buffalo style, and we're gonna make a nice fresh summer salad to go with them. So why don't you let everything burn off of your grill for a hot sec. Ha ha, really, literally for a hot sec. Let it burn off a little bit. We'll get these tossed with some buffalo sauce, and we'll get that nice fresh summer salad made so that we can have a really healthy meal.
My mouth is watering over that delicious chicken, but now we're going to step into the kitchen with Tracy to make some delicious sauces. So let's sauce things up with Tracy Miller from Colorful Cooking.
All right, I'm just coarsely chopping up the celery and the carrots. And you know, every time you order buffalo chicken wings, what do you get with it? celery and carrots. So I thought, hey, why not enjoy those with our salad today? Plus, I'm a huge carrot fan, and they are so delicious and in season right now. I love celery as well, but celery happens to be one of the dirty dozen. Do you know what that is? That is 12 different veggies that you should really buy organic, because what happens is celery has a lot of water in it, so any of the nutrients that are going into the soil, they're going into your celery as well. Things with like a thick skin, like an avocado or a banana, you can typically buy those conventional if you want, but the thin-skinned veggies, fruits, you really want to buy those organic, and celery happens to be one of them. Okay, so I have celery and cucumber, and I actually have a conventional cucumber, so I did peel it, because when you get the English cucumbers and they come in the plastic, those are pretty nice and their peel isn't that bitter, so you can enjoy those, but the conventional ones, you just kind of want to peel because they do put like a waxy film on that. Okay, so we have our veggies all chopped up. We have our romaine, and then we have our chicken. In order to make this buffalo, and I'm going to tell you what, I have tried to make my own hot sauces millions of times, and I love a buffalo chicken salad. I actually love chicken wings as well. Try not to eat them that much because they are higher in fat, especially since we kept the skin on. But what I try to do is just try to make it as healthy as possible. That's why we're siding it with a salad, and we're using the bigger chicken legs too, so you're going to get more meat under there, and that's going to be a dark meat, so it's going to have more flavor, it's going to have more fat. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take a bowl and get your Frank's Red Hot. I'll tell you what, like I said, I've tried many different hot sauces, and I have tried to make my own, and this one really, it's a favorite. It's a favorite of mine, and it's easy, and sometimes you just have to take those easy steps. You're definitely gonna get like a little more sodium and preservatives and something like this, but it lasts, so you can keep this in your cabinet and use it for other things, and it has a really, really nice flavor. So what we do now is we coat those in the bowl, and just make sure you're covering them. If I had another set of gloves, I would probably just use my hands for this, but I feel like they're kind of far away, so I'm not going to go get them. Okay, so we're going to let those sit right there for a minute and get our salad going. I'm going to put the salad right on the plate that I had the chicken on, because first of all, if there were some nice flavors, like some juices on there, that would make everything taste really, really good. This lettuce looks awesome. I'm just going to cut off the bottom. I don't wash my lettuce, I just make sure it's not dirty and wipe it off with a paper towel. Because going back to earlier when we started this class and I told you, hey, you don't want wet lettuce. I mean, if you're gonna take the time to wring it out in one of those salad wringers, definitely do that. But otherwise, you can just get most of the dirt off this way. And if you feel worried that you're gonna have any kind of contaminants on it or anything like that, wash it off and then dry it off with a paper towel. And that's a nice, easy thing to do with romaine, because it's got, you know, the boats where you can just kind of get right in there. Okay, another thing I like to do is chop my lettuce, because I don't like to rip it, because it kind of starts to bruise it, and you don't want bruised lettuce on your salad. Romaine is so healthy and so good for you. I love it. It's just crispy and delicious. So here we go. We've got that, and we've got all our nice veggies, and I'm just going to put on top. I mean, this is going to be a filling meal, and it's going to be pretty light and super healthy as well. I read one time, carrots happen to be one of my favorite foods no matter what, always have been, but I read one time, nobody ever got fat from eating a carrot stick. So pile it up with those carrot sticks, because they're going to be nice and delicious and good for you. I'm just going to chop a little bit of green onion right now. And you can use the whites and the greens depending on how much you want. This is nice because these spring onions are so good during the spring, and they're so good all through the summer. Actually, I use these quite a bit even in the winter, because they're just a little more mild than some other onions are. Okay, so we're going to put those on the top at the end, but right now we are going to make our salad dressing. And what I noticed is that I didn't bring a jar. A lot of times I like to make a salad dressing with a jar. So I'm here in the studio, and we have a nice wine glass, and a plastic fork. So we are going to work with what we have here. Here is how you make salad dressing. Basically, you start with some olive oil. So I'm going to put in 1 part olive oil. And then you have an olive oil and something acidic. So we're going to use about a half a part, and all these measurements are in your recipe book, of white wine vinegar. We are going to use ample salt and pepper because this is what's giving us its flavor, although I'm going to sprinkle a little on the salad. And then we are going to use a bunch of blue cheese. We can sprinkle a little bit of the blue cheese right here on the salad as well. You could use feta if you wanted to too. So finish that up right there and then just stir it up really nicely. Seriously, it's that simple, my friends. That is our blue cheese vinaigrette. Look how delicious it looks. Okay, so we've got that nice and kind of stirred up. You can put it in your blender too if you really like your blue cheese chunks to be kind of not so chunky. Okay, so now we have our salad. I'm gonna bring it right up here nice and close. I feel like I'm having a glass of wine with my summer salad. I kind of wish I was doing that. All right, let's get our chicken and make sure it's nice and covered with that Frank sauce. And we're gonna put just a couple pieces right here on top. Let me get one of those. So it's gonna be a messy one. If you're taking this on a picnic or out onto your patio, make sure you have a lot of paper towels. Now I'm going to sprinkle it with a little bit of green onion. I don't know why, I just feel like I always have to have green onion on my chicken legs. Don't forget, those are at 185 for temperature. We've got our really light sauce, and we're just going to pour that right on top. So like I said, this can be enjoyed when it's nice and when it's warm outside and you want to have things at room temperature. You can always bring this for a picnic. Just make sure you put your chicken in a cooler and keep it cool and don't let it get to a weird temperature. But you can really enjoy it when it's at a room temperature. So if you did want to take this on a picnic, it would be a nice healthy meal for you. That chicken skin is not going to be the healthiest part, of course, but the meat in there is going to give you a lot of protein, and the salad is plentiful and fresh. And this is what we made today. I hope you got some good grilling tips. Grilling with a bone, you just have to keep on flipping it, keep flipping it. You can also bake your chicken thighs if you want to, or your chicken legs if you want to. You would just put them in the oven at 400 degrees, and again, you'd be flipping them and rotating them every 5 to 7 minutes or so.
I had the opportunity to chat with the Park City Community Foundation, and this is a great way to get involved in the community and help a wonderful nonprofit. Well, they've got some exciting news taking place, and winners are going to be announced July 10th, so let's hear what they have to say. We're known for having so many wonderful nonprofits here in our community, and without the Park City Community Foundation, that would not be possible. I'm joined by Rebecca Blanchette. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and give us all this great information, because you guys do such a good job here in our community.
Thanks.
Now, there's some exciting things taking place. You guys have some exciting events coming up, so let's talk about them.
Great.
So you've got the Women's Giving Fund of grant of 2024. What is this?
Yeah, so Women's Giving Fund is a program at Park City Community Foundation. We're a group of almost 2,200 women who make an annual high impact grant to local organizations serving women, plus, and children in Park City.
Which is so incredible because not many people understand what this does for the community. And so for people who have never heard of this before, can you give us a brief overview?
Yeah, so Women's Giving Fund started in 2013 with a group of local women who wanted to create lasting impact for women and children in Park City. And they gathered 1,000 women who each donated $1,000 to create a $1 million endowment. And the fund has grown over the years. And today we're over $2 million in the endowment. And we are granting $125,000 this year.
Which is incredible. And now you've got 3 finalists that are up right now. And so let's talk more about how people can get involved before we start talking about the finalist.
Great. So Women's Giving Fund members donate $1,000 to be a Women's Giving Fund member for life. We do monthly get-togethers with our Women's Giving Fund members, but the main component of membership is voting in this annual grant award.
And how many people were originally up for the grant? How many people signed up to be part of the grant?
Sure. So we had 23 organizations who applied for the grant this year.
And now there are 3 finalists.
Yes. So we narrow the grant finalists down to 3. We narrow the applications down to 3 finalists, and then we give each of those organizations a videographer. They make a 3-minute video, and those videos can be found on our website right now. And so our members get to watch those videos and learn about the grant applications, and then they cast their vote.
Which is so important because this isn't a small chunk of money. This is a life-changing amount of money to maybe take a different step, maybe expand the business and the nonprofit. And so who are the 3 finalists?
So our 3 finalists this year are Mountain Mediation Center, Summit Community Gardens and Eats, and the People's Health Clinic.
All very important to the community, all bringing a different aspect into the community. And so each one is coming up with these 3-minute videos, but to vote, you have to be a member.
Correct. And people are welcome to join now through July 8th when they need to cast their vote for their vote to be counted.
And then, of course, you want people to come to the celebration of announcing the winner.
Yeah, so we have a great celebration. We call it our grant celebration. It's on July 10th, and it's sponsored by Vail's Epic Promise, and we hold it up at the Red Pine Lodge.
Which is so incredible, and it's such a unique opportunity for many people who don't know about all of the wonderful nonprofits that we have here in the community. It gives them that opportunity not only to learn the nonprofits, but then to directly interact with them.
That's right.
Which is so incredible, and it's so important that people get involved in our community in this aspect because it does make a difference to have these nonprofits here.
It sure does.
And how many
They're all doing
nonprofits?
incredible work.
Yes. How many nonprofits in total do we have here in Park City?
Oh gosh. I think we had over 120 nonprofits participate in Live PC, Give PC, another program at Park City Community Foundation. Last year, around 120 nonprofits that participated in, that's our annual day of giving in Park City.
Which is so incredible. And so this is just one of those many ways people can get involved. And of course, they can look forward to that event. But right now, we're really focusing on this event.
Yep.
It's incredible, and it's incredible that you do such a good job raising the money now. If people just want to donate money, is that a possibility?
It sure is. You can visit parkcitycf.org and click our donate button.
Which is such a great way for people to get involved. Now, are you ever looking for volunteers for some of these great events?
We do. We have, especially Live PC, Give PC, we have a lot of volunteer opportunities.
And then for the Women's Giving Fund, once you make that $1,000 donation, you become a member, and then you get to use this as a great networking tool throughout the community as well.
Yeah, we do. Women's Giving Fund has monthly get-togethers, and we do service projects. We do ski days, and an annual book discussion. So it's a great way to meet other people. And we see a lot of people who are moving to Park City, that joining Women's Giving Fund is one of the very first things that they do to get involved in the community.
This is such a great opportunity, like you said, for people to get involved in the community, and it's important that people are casting their votes because $125,000 will make a difference for any and all of these nonprofits, especially the 3 finalists.
It sure will, and I'd love to share with our community here that the grand total of the money that we're giving out is $125,000. Each of will have a big award winner, and they will receive $75,000, and then the 2 runners up will also receive $25,000 each. So everyone is a winner.
Oh, that's incredible. So one gets a little more, and then the other 2 still receive something as being a finalist, which will help those nonprofits make a difference as well.
It sure will.
And for each nonprofit, can you just give us like a brief overview of what they do for those of us who have not heard of the 3 finalists?
Sure. So Mountain Mediation Center, their grants will provide low-income families with services to navigate housing stability and family conflicts. This will happen through landlord, tenant, and domestic mediation programs that prevent eviction and homelessness and provide a path forward for women facing divorce. Summit Community Gardens and Eats will instill lifelong healthy eating habits and provide 1 to 2 servings of fruits and vegetables per lesson to 2,000 plus local school-aged children through hands-on cooking, nutrition, and gardening programs. And then finally, the People's Health Clinic will provide urgent reproductive health needs for uninsured community members and improve health outcomes for vulnerable women and children through family planning education, contraception access, prenatal care, and postpartum support.
All of these make such a difference in our community, and each one is so vastly important, so we're really grateful that these are our 3 finalists. Now, one more time, if people would like to get involved, what's the website where they can sign up and donate the $1,000 to become a member?
ParkCityCF.org.
Rebecca, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all this great information, and we can't wait to see who the grand winner is.
Thanks so much for having me.
Make sure that you check out the website, and that way you can become a member, because this is one of those incredible community opportunities you're not going to want to miss out on. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back from the break, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned. Are you looking for a great summer read? Well, Break to You could be just that, and we had an opportunity to chat with the incredible author about the love story that unfolds. Let's hear what he has to say.
Neil, thanks for joining us this morning. Neil, I understand this is a book about love, and it's a book about young love. Can you just tell us a little bit about where the inspiration came for this book and a little bit about it?
Well, the story takes place in a juvenile detention center. There are 2 teenagers who basically have never met. Adriana, she writes a journal, and in her journal she puts all her deepest personal thoughts, and she accidentally leaves it in the detention center's library. And when she comes back to get it a couple of days later, a boy has written on all of her personal thoughts. And so she's furious and wants to connect with him and talk with him about it. But of course, the only way to do that is through the journal. So she writes back to him, hides it in the library, and then he writes back to her again. And pretty soon they start to fall in love, even though they've never met each other.
Wow, wow. Where does an idea like that come from? And especially teen love, right? That's a tough one to navigate for young adults, right?
Well, yeah, especially in a juvenile detention center. I mean, the idea really came from visiting detention centers and speaking with students. And the thing that you forget is that these are just kids who have made mistakes, kids who were in difficult circumstances, and they have hopes and dreams just like everyone else. And it was our hope when we were writing this book to really shed a light on the juvenile detention and the juvenile justice system here in the U.S., how broken it is, and how we need to give attention to these kids.
Yeah, amazing. It's definitely spot on there. Can you talk a little bit about your co-authors here? I know Deborah Young and Michelle Nolden But talk about the kind of the teamwork and camaraderie you guys pulled together to put this out.
Well, I've known Michelle and Deborah for over 20 years. They are in my critique group, and I've always wanted to work with them. We started this during the pandemic when we were all isolated and only able to connect at a distance. So that sort of really comes through in the story of Break to You, that whole sense of isolation and separation. And we took our strengths and sort of wove them together. So you could really say that the book is a braided fabric between the three of us, and it was a fantastic process to work together with them.
Yeah, amazing. Who would you say the audience is? Is it solely for kind of teenagers, or who's the reader audience here?
Oh, the audience is everybody. When I write books, I like to write books that work for teens, but also work for adults as well, that work on many different levels. And so the readership can be anywhere from 13 all the way up through adult.
Awesome. I know it's on Amazon. Where can people find Break to You if they're interested in reading?
You can pick Break to You up anywhere. It is at Barnes & Noble. It is at your local independent bookstore, and on Amazon. Anywhere that you buy your books, you can get Break to You. And I hope readers will enjoy it and find it to be a page turner and really a way to connect with these kids.
Yeah, awesome. I think that was a great synopsis you gave. I don't want to give any spoilers or too much information about, but is there anything else you want to add about the book, Neil?
Well, the reason it's called Break to You for a reason. It's a breakout story. These two kids, their friends realize that they need to meet each other because they're in love but have never seen each other, and so it's not about breaking out of the detention center. It's about breaking to each other.
Amazing. I mean, in today's digital world, like stories like that sound so rare about knowing someone without knowing what they look like. So very interesting, Neil. Thanks so much for joining us. What's next for you? What do you got coming up next?
You're very welcome. Oh, next, well, I'm going on tour for Break to You, so I'm going to be in various different spots around the U.S., also visiting detention centers. And the next book out is coming out in February, and it's called All Better Now. It is a pandemic story about the next pandemic, about a virus that fixes all of your problems rather than makes you feel bad. So it's sort of an anti-pandemic story, and I'm very excited about that one.
I love that. Neil, thanks so much for giving us an inside look into your brain and where you get these awesome ideas for these books. Break to You is it's a beautiful book, very consumable, great for like a picnic or out and about while you're vacationing. So Neil, thanks so much for joining us. Check out Break to You out in bookstores now, and stay tuned. We will be right back with more of the show.
We had the chance to catch up with an incredible pharmacist about what you should have on hand for the summer. I know I'm covered in bug bites and they're quite itchy, and so there's some great tips and tricks to get you through the summer. Let's hear what they have to say.
As we head into summer's big holiday coming up here, we are joined by CVS pharmacist Dr. Amy Lynn Safety to talk about how to be safe in these summer months. Amy Lynn, how are you?
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So obviously people are out and about in the summer, going to barbecues and outside all the time. What do people need to be aware of, and how can people prepare to be safe?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of different things that can impact us in the summer months. So during the summertime, it's important to talk about ways to prevent sunburn, what to do if you get a bug bite or maybe a rash that you're not sure where it came from, and of course, how to stay hydrated.
Yeah, definitely. So suppose someone does come across a nasty kind of rash or sunburn. Where do they start? Where do we start with kind of seeking help and treating these ailments?
So the best place to ask questions and get help when you're trying to treat any summer ailments is to stop by your local CVS pharmacy. So your pharmacist is there to answer your questions. We're trained to help and guide you to the best over-the-counter treatment. That way you can help to get better and get back to enjoying your summertime with your family.
Awesome. And what are kind of your tips and recommendations to dealing with some rashes or some sunburns that people might find this summer?
Yeah, so one of the best things for the summertime is to remember to apply sunscreen. So that is the best way to prevent sunburn. And a lot of people think that they only need sunscreen when it's sunny outside, but the sun's UV rays can come through those clouds. So it's really important to apply sunscreen every single day, whether it's cloudy or sunny. And you want to make sure you're using an SPF of at least 30. But the key to sunscreen is reapplying. It's not a one and done thing. So a lot of people get a really bad burn because they might spray the sunscreen on first thing in the morning, and then they're out and about in the pool and the beach all day and then come home with a nasty sunburn. So it's important to make sure you're reapplying every 90 minutes to keep protected from the sun.
Definitely. If you're like me, I have sunscreen in almost every bag I have, in my golf bag, everywhere you can find a bottle of sunscreen. So definitely apply and reapply. And then staying hydrated is obviously a big one too. What are your tips and tricks to staying hydrated this summer?
So it's important to drink water year round, but even more important during the summertime. So while we're out and about, we're outside, we're going for hikes in the pool, going to the beach, we are sweating a lot. So as you're sweating, you're losing a lot of electrolytes through your skin in your sweat. So it's really important to replenish those. So besides just drinking your regular plain water, it's always a good idea to add some electrolytes to your water, whether it be an electrolyte solution or an electrolyte powder or stick to enhance your water. It's a great way to replace what you're losing while you're outside. And Pedialyte is not just for kids, it's also for adults as well. It's a great way to replace those electrolytes, and it doesn't have all the sugar that some of those sports beverages contain. So it's a little bit of a healthier way to make sure you're staying hydrated. And another great tip for staying hydrated this summer, a lot of people don't realize that you actually absorb 20% of your daily water intake from the food that you eat. So if you're looking for a way to stay hydrated on the beach, you might want to pack some snacks that are high in water content, like watermelon, cucumber, and celery. That way, while you're on the beach and eating a snack, you're also staying hydrated as well.
Love it. Brilliant. Brilliant. What other products do you have there that you want to talk about? Have we covered everything there on the table?
Well, actually, I would like to talk a little bit about what to do if you do get poison ivy. So if you're out in the wilderness this summer going for a hike, there are lots of plants that might look pretty, but they don't feel pretty if they touch your skin. So the poison ivy plant has an oil on the leaf, and if that comes in contact with your skin, it causes a bad rash. And the more you itch it or touch it, the poison ivy can spread all over your body, and it becomes a small problem to a big problem very quickly. So one of the best things to keep in your medicine cabinet this summer is a poison ivy wash. So this is something that is specially formulated to get that oil off the skin so your skin can start healing and not be so itchy.
Awesome, awesome. All these products available at your local CVS. Doctor, thanks so much for joining us. Anything else I should ask you, or anything else you want to tell people heading into the thick of summer here?
Yeah, I would say as we head into summertime or before you head on that family vacation, stop by your local CVS pharmacy, talk to your pharmacist. That way you can get together a little supply pack of things that you might need that you encounter on your vacation this summer.
Awesome, awesome. Doctor, thank you so much. Stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your summer, and we will be right back with more of the show.
Thank you. You too.
We want to thank you so much for tuning into your Saturday edition of Wasatch Weekends. We love getting to be here to bring you all of this great community information. Make sure that you're well taken care of and inspire your summer reading. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow for your Sunday edition of Wasatch Weekends. I'll be your host, Maddie Evans, and I'll see you then.